you are tested the most when you are on the track of greatness. You are tested the most when you are in alignment. Like I told Spirit, I'm doing the thing. Like, look, I'm doing the thing. But it's like, are you doing it the way that you know you should be? No. You can speed up the process of your manifestations if you are fully embodying the type of person who has them. Because why are you self-sabotaging? What are you so afraid of? When you are going through a real transformation, it's not just going to happen in your career. It's not just going to happen in the thing that you're working towards. It's going to happen internally. Like in every part of your being, you are going to be called to do better. Hello and welcome back to another episode of A Black Girl's Orbit. I am your host, Zara. It's nice to see you. Today we're going to get a little bit personal. It's the last day of January. Well, when this comes out, it will be the 31st. It's only the 30th today, so it doesn't really make a difference. But I hope that your January has been amazing. I hope that your start to the year has been amazing. I hope that I hope that your start to the year has been amazing. Your first month of the year has been amazing. But for me, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. We're what are we now? Episode 9. We're nearly 10 episodes in, which means that we're 9 weeks in to me starting this journey, because I wasn't one of those people who filmed 5-6 episodes in preparation to start this podcast. I should have. But I didn't. I was putting off this podcast so much that if I didn't put out the episode that I filmed that week, it probably never would have happened. So yeah, we've been filming, editing and posting within the same week, every week, which is like a little bit about what I wanted to talk about today, because I feel like I've been tested this January. Like I have been tested the most that I feel like I've been tested career-wise, or like passion-wise, vision-wise, dream life-wise, ever. And I feel like I'm self-sabotaging. I feel like I'm just causing a lot of like self-doubt within myself. And we're going to talk about it because it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So if you've been here since the beginning, if you haven't, hi, welcome. My name is Zara. I started this podcast. The first episode was a bit of a doozy, so I'm not even mad if you haven't seen it. But basically, I talk a lot about like the fact that I was putting off this podcast and I wanted it to be a place where people can come, Black women can come and share their experiences and feel related to and see the process of you creating the life of your dreams. Because too often I feel like we get given like the end product, like here's all the work that I've been doing for 10 years and this is how I did it, or like this is my end result, like this is how far I've come. Don't get twisted, they might have documented the whole process, but we just don't really see them during that time. We see them when they're finished. We see them when they're, their made product, like when they're successful. And I wanted this to be the place where I document some of that with the podcast. Like I wanted to show up as I am in the podcast, not when I've got loads of equipment, not when I've got the best sound system, not when I've got all of the people, not when I've got a production studio. I wanted to show up as I am at this current moment, which is like me filming with a camera, a light and a mic while my baby sleeps. He might wake us up in 5 minutes. Like I might have to go in 5 minutes. I might not have to go in 5 minutes. We don't know. Babies do whatever they want. Honestly, toddlers are just toddlering, right? And during all this process, I'm a mum. So if that wasn't clear. But I wanted to show the process. I wanted to show that you can live your truth, live your experiences, and still show up and be vulnerable online if that's the thing that you want. You don't have to get on the other side of it. You don't have to be like, oh, when my baby was I created a successful business, but I never told anyone until it was successful. Like, no, like you're going to see me create this podcast. You're going to see me get better at talking on the mic. You're going to see maybe the episodes where it cuts out at the end. You're going to see the episodes where the mic cuts out, the audio mic cuts out. And like all of these things have happened within the last 3 weeks. Last week's episode just cut out at the end. Like I had no idea until I was watching it to take clips from it to put it on TikTok, and there was just no end. Like, it, I just, it was like, what? I was like, what happened? Like, how did we get here? I didn't even know this happened, right? But I'm learning so much through this process. I'm learning that I need to watch over the video after it's like downloaded. I weren't doing that. It was like downloaded straight to YouTube because don't have time. Like, didn't have time. And I was doing everything in such close quarters. It's like, I'm filming today, it has to be up tomorrow. So I'm editing and posting and doing all of these things within such a short space of time that I have no time to actually check the work that I'm creating, check that the product that I'm producing is actually well and good and I'm happy with it at the end, right? And so I'm learning a lot, but I'm showing you through this process. I think it was like the first week of January, I was filming an episode and I thought like I had done everything. I had put baby down for a nap. I had started filming during his nap. I had charged all my plugs and everything, like all my chargers. I had charged everything. Everything was charged and ready to go. The camera battery died. I have 2 batteries. Both of them were dead. Then my SD card was full. Then the audio cut out midway through. Then my laptop storage was full, and it was like there was just problem after problem after obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And while some may say like, okay, maybe you're just not supposed to be doing the podcast, I disagree completely. I disagree completely. In my opinion, you are tested the most when you are on the track of greatness. You are tested the most when you are in alignment, because you have to be. You have to be. If you want something bad enough, the universe, God, higher power, spirit, whoever you may call it, is going to test you in order to see if you're really serious. Because they're not about to give you all of these things. They're not about to give you all of these things and you are not ready. Like, you have to be ready. You have to be able to hold what comes with the things that you want. And therefore, it requires you to put in the work. It requires you to show up and show how much effort you're willing to put in it, to show how much resilience you have when things go bad, to show how you're going to bounce back from the obstacles. It's to show how much you want it, right? And I just don't think I've ever wanted anything as much as I do this. And I don't think I've ever had a vision that's so strong that I know in my heart, this is my calling, this is my purpose. Like, not necessarily the podcast, but to share and to help others and to create space for Black women. I've never felt like I had such a strong purpose. Don't get it twisted. I've had purpose. I've always had purpose, but I've never wanted something so bad. It's always just been like, here you go, here you go, here you go, take that, take this. Go here if you want, go there if you want. Here's a job. Like, I've never not been out of a job. I've never not got into the classes and things that I've wanted. I've never not got what I wanted, and easily at that, like, not as hard as I would assume it would have been. So for this to be so trying, so testing, is hard. It was hard for me. Like, it was hard for me. Don't get twisted. We're only 9 weeks in. It's like, Zara, you've only tried for 9 weeks. Like, what could you expect to happen? I'm a control freak. I'm a control freak. So, in my opinion, if I make sure everything is going right, why should it go wrong? And I don't mean in the sense of like, I want thousands of listeners on the podcast no, but in the sense of the product that I produce, if I've made sure everything is done well, why is something going wrong? Like, if I've charged both my chargers, both my batteries, why is the batteries cutting out? Why is it saying it's dead? Like, it's giving spiritual warfare. Like, where did that come from? How did that happen? Like, I've checked the laptop. I know my laptop is getting old, right? It goes like shh. It does like that shh sound when things are loading. But I know that it had storage, like it was perfectly fine. All of a sudden, no storage, audio's been cut out, it's not filming, it's not downloading, it's not, like, nothing's happening. I was like, this, like, I can't, this is ridiculous. And I know for me that Spirit was like, how bad do you want it? Are you still going to edit this? Are you still going to put this out? Are you still going to make it something that you are proud of? Yes, I am, because I want it bad, right? But it's been trying. It's been a test. And not only with the podcast, I'm creating a lot of content on a lot of different platforms because before my child was born, I was saying consistently, like, oh, I want to be a content creator. I want to share my message. I want to help people. I want to give messages. I want to share my story and my experiences to help others. I was saying it often, right? And I would do it in small, like, I've always been driven by that purpose. So I would do it in small. I would do it with the people that I knew. I was always the one that people would come to for advice, but I would never like, I would kind of start and stop with it when it comes to like outward projection. So I would film a little bit of content. I would be serious for a couple of months or weeks or maybe a year or two, but I wasn't doing it the way that I knew I should have. Like, I knew I wasn't doing it the way that I was being called to. I wasn't being consistent with it. I wasn't being obedient with it in a serious manner. And when I had my son, he basically made me feel like, well, if you're not going to try before me, are you going to try after me? Like, things are about to get really hard. Like, you're now a mum. There's other things that are taking up your time, not just the things that you've been like distracting yourself with for however many years. Like, now you're a mum and you want to be a good mum, and you also want to be a mum that your child can look at and be like, you know what? My mum lived her dreams. Like, she tried to reach her goals and she succeeded, or at least she attempted at everything that she ever wanted. And if she didn't reach the stars, she fell on the moon. Like, if she didn't reach the stars, she fell on the top of the trees. Like, something. I did something, right? I don't want him to be looking at me like, oh, mum, you said you wanted all these things for your life, and what happened? Like, you didn't try. You didn't even try. You didn't even attempt. That's just not what I wanted. And that's what, but I think it made me feel like, it was like, okay, time to get serious. Like, if you have dreams and goals and you want him to be able to chase his dreams and goals, then you need to. You need to be the example that you want for him. And that's why I was like, okay, across all platforms, like, I'm gonna do this. And I started to feel like when January came, because I did a winter arc, so from like October I did winter arc, and I was creating content and I was filming the podcast. And while I had an episode that did really good on the podcast, and I had some content that ended up doing really good on social media, it wasn't fulfilling. I wasn't doing it the way that I knew I should have. Like, I was doing it now. Like, I told Spirit, I'm doing the thing. Like, look, I'm doing the thing. But it's like, are you doing it the way that you know you should be? No. Like, the last episode, I took notes. And so when the end of the episode cut out, I was really upset about it, because it's like, no, I've put my heart and my soul into this episode. I did the research that I needed to. I took the notes on the things that I definitely wanted to say. I went through the bullet points in the episode. Like, I was proud of that piece of work. So when it cut out, it was like, oh, this is what it feels like to actually create something from your heart that you are so heavily proud of, and it to not go well. Okay, how can I make sure it goes well? How can I be more observant of the work that I'm creating, right? How can I put more into the work that I'm creating? And when I do put more into the work I'm creating, I'm more proud of it. And that's what I've started to do since the beginning of January, or in the last couple of weeks even. And it's showing so much more in my content that I'm now less worried about external stuff, like, oh, it's taking too long, I want to be like TikTok famous, because that's not the goal. That's never been the goal. But it's less of that and more of like, is my content creating the message that I want it to? Is my creativity being stretched? Am I proud of the posts that I'm making, instead of just saying, yeah, I've posted twice today, like, the goal was to post twice today, I posted twice today. Like, no. Are you proud of those 2 posts that you made? Did you take all the time that you needed to with the editing? Are you proud of the editing? Are you proud of the message? Are you happy with the impact that it might make if it does go viral? Like, would you be proud of this piece of content that you're creating? And that's where I'm like, okay, this is why I'm being tested. Like, before it was like, oh, woe to me. Like, everywhere I turn, it's just like another obstacle. Oh, just, And now it's like, no, because the obstacles are being given one, to see how much I want it, but also to see what I'm doing wrong. Like, we can all say, like, in divine timing things will happen, and yes, 100% in divine timing things will happen, but I also feel like you can speed up the process. You can speed up the process of your manifestations if you are fully embodying the type of person who has them, in my opinion. So if I'm saying I'm an athlete, or I want to be an athlete, and I start working out like an athlete, I'm an athlete. Like, you can't tell me I'm not, because I am embodying the type of lifestyle that an athlete would have, right? I can't say that, like, instead of this whole, and I was literally watching a YouTube video today of a girl saying that, yeah, we say we're delusional, right? Or faking it till we make it, but you're still telling yourself that you're faking it. Like, can we stop saying you're faking it? Because your brain is still in this sense of, like, we're not there yet. Instead of saying, no, I am that. Like, I am her. I am an athlete. So therefore, my lifestyle needs to act as though I'm an athlete. I am a podcast host. So therefore, I need to start acting as though I'm a podcast host, not filming the day before, not reviewing my podcast episodes, not knowing what I'm going to talk about in every episode. Like, no, do your research, sit down, have your notes, get to it, right? Make sure that you are prepared when you're coming to film an episode. Make sure that you know what you want to talk about when you film an episode. Make sure that you have checked the storage on your laptop. Make sure that your batteries are charged every single time. Like, these things I can do. And it was like, well, make sure that you're proud of the content that you're putting out, and not just saying, yeah, I'm doing it. Because as much as I can say, yes, I'm showing up as I am in this moment, it's like, but are you showing up as your best in this moment? Don't just show up. Like, don't just show up. Like, that's what the last 9 weeks have shown me. I can't just show up here and be like, yeah, I mean, I did the thing. Like, no. Did you do it to the best of your ability? Did you put your heart and soul into it? Did you try your best? And I feel like I've been self-sabotaging with that, because it's like, I don't want to put my all into this thing and be rejected. But it's like, you haven't got rejected yet. So you don't want to put your all into it. You want this to be your purpose. You want this to be your job. You want this to be the thing that takes you to the next step. You want this to be, your dream life, part of your dream life. So why wouldn't you put your heart and soul into it? Why wouldn't you create work that you are proud of? You can't just show up. Like, show up as the best person, the best version of you in this moment. You don't have to be the best version of you 10 years from now, because you can't be, but you can be the best version of you right now. You can show up as the best version of you right now. Nothing is stopping you from doing that. You can't just say, yeah, I did the thing. Like, I got to the gym, but I didn't do my best there. Why not? You got there, so then why didn't you just do your best? It's like, I know I'm self-sabotaging, and that's why it's been so frustrating, because it's like, how can you expect good results off of work that you wouldn't even give those results? Ooh, okay. Because, no, seriously, like, some of the content that I was creating 2 months ago, I think I've been creating, like, consistently twice a day for the last 2 or 3 months now. I'm looking at that content and I'm like, I wouldn't watch that. So then why did you create it, Zara? Why did you post it? And it's like, yes, you're learning, you're understanding your brand is more, the more we go. But it's like, if you're not happy with it, don't. Like, I know on TikTok often we get a lot of creators that are like, just post the content. Done is better than perfect. I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but you have to be happy with it. You do have to be happy with it. In my opinion, there is absolutely no point you posting a video that you aren't happy with, or at least a little bit proud of. And if it does go viral, you're still not going to be happy with it. You're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I went viral. Great, amazing. But now all of those people are going to come to your page for that thing that you've gone viral for, and you weren't even happy with it. That's not the content you want to create. So why don't you start creating the content that you want to create? content that you are proud of, podcast episodes that you are proud of. And so if they do pop off, if loads of people do see it, you can say, yeah, I put my foot in that and I deserve that. I deserve the reward. I deserve what's coming out of it because I put my foot in there. Like, I did my best. It was my best at that time. My best in 5 years from now will probably look a lot different for this podcast. But right now, it's my best. You know? Like, I was definitely self-sabotaging. And so I feel like while in the moment, like I said, I was being tested a lot. And I just wasn't getting it. Like, Spirit was like, punch, kick, hello, you need to do better. Punch, kick, hello, you need to do better. I was just like, no, but I'm doing it. Like, I'm being obedient. I'm doing the thing. No, but are you doing the thing to your best ability? Are you doing the thing to your best ability? So that's what I'm learning. With that, with me doing the thing to the best of my ability, I have to trust then that whatever comes out of it is not in my hands anymore. Because like I said, I was self-sabotaging in the sense of I was self-sabotaging because I didn't want to put my all into this and then it not go the way that I wanted it to, or me not reap the rewards that I was expecting I was supposed to reap in however long of a time period that I was expecting I was supposed to reach it. And with relinquishing that and saying, no, I'm going to put my all into this. I'm going to try hard. And I literally made a whole episode about trying hard, like looking like we're trying hard. Like, it's okay for us to look like we are trying hard to get towards our dreams. And I said all of that, but I said it all by not being my best in that, right? It's like I said it, but did I really understand it? And I sometimes feel like when I get on this mic, some of these episodes are for me, like as much as they are for me to put it out there and for others to feel related to in this, or maybe to gain some advice, or maybe to just gain some clarity on where they're at, or maybe just learn a bit about me. I don't know if you're here for me or not, but a lot of it is for me. Like, I gain a lot from these episodes, especially when I sit down and watch them back. I'm like, oh, Spirit was talking through you right here. Like, that's not you, that's Spirit. That was for you. That message right there, that was for you. Because I was self-sabotaging. I don't put my all into it, but I'm saying, yeah, like, I want to look like I'm trying hard. Like, I want to look like I'm putting my all into this. And while I guess from the outside, it did look like I was putting my all into this. I'm posting twice a week on TikTok. I'm posting every single day shorts for this podcast. I'm posting once a week a podcast episode. Like, I'm doing the thing. But internally, I knew a lot of that content I hadn't put my heart and soul into. And a lot of it I was saying, like, I don't have time. Like, I'm a mum. I don't have time. You have time. Create the time. If you have time to film the podcast episode, then you have time to review the podcast episode. Or make time. Do better, right? Film in advance if you need to. Find the time when you can. And it was like, oh, I don't want to film when the baby's asleep at night because it's late and I'm tired. Stop making excuses. Stop self-sabotaging. Literally last week, I had outlined the episode. I knew everything that I wanted to say. And I was like, I can't, like, I pushed myself into a corner of when I needed to film the podcast. I didn't do it on Thursday. And usually, like, my corner would be Thursday. I didn't end up filming on Thursday. I told myself, oh, because baby just isn't sleeping on Thursday, like he was waking up every 40 minutes, whatever, I could film a podcast in that time. But I was telling myself I couldn't do it. Then I got tired and it was like after 10 o'clock. I was like, I can't do it. I don't have enough time. Pushed it into Friday. Woke up at 6 a.m. to film the podcast. Had everything set up. Baby woke up early. I was like, I still can't do it. During his nap, still didn't. Did I do it? I think I filmed during his nap on Friday. The podcast episode is supposed to be out at 7 o'clock. I filmed in his nap, which kind of ends at like 3 p.m. That's not enough time for me to edit because now baby's up. Like, I'm in motherhood. So I don't edit during that time when he's awake because I'm not going to sit here with my laptop and my baby's doing what? Like, that's just ridiculous. So I don't do it. So I ended up editing the night Did I even edit that? I was just like, yeah, I can't edit. Like, there's just no time. Like, it's supposed to be out at 7 o'clock, and he goes to bed at 7:30, so it's not gonna come out on Friday. Didn't edit on Friday. Edited it on Saturday. It came out on Saturday. Why? You had the whole week to film that episode. This week, I was about to not do it because I was like, oh, my hair's not done right. You can see I've started my hair and I haven't finished my hair. And yesterday night, I'm sitting there like, but Zara, you don't want to be filming the episode that's supposed to come out on Friday. So you need to figure the hair thing out, wrap it up if you need to, film the episode. Get the episode filmed. You are no longer self-sabotaging. If you can film the episode, film the episode. If you have to pause halfway and go and feed the baby and come back, do that. Because why are you self-sabotaging? What are you so afraid of? That you put your all into this and you don't reap a reward? You will. You will. You see the vision. It's been placed on your heart. You know the vision. So you just have to keep pushing towards it. Put your all into this. Try as hard as you know you're trying. Do your best. Not what would look like externally as your best. Do your best. Are you doing your best? No, I wasn't. I could do more. I could put more effort in. 110%. And I think in that sense, now I'm trusting that if I do put my all into this, spirit will deal with the rest. The rest will come when it's supposed to. I don't need to be a control freak over the external stuff. I don't need to be a control freak over the metrics. I don't need to be a control freak over the analytics, because when you are putting your heart and soul into this, especially when you're doing it through spirit, like I said, I know when I turn on this mic, sometimes it's not me talking, it's spirit talking through me. When you are putting your all into something and you are doing it through spirit, and you are allowing spirit to take you to the places that you need to, you're allowing spirit to show you the opportunities, you're allowing spirit to speak through you in your messaging, you're allowing spirit to show you through your creativity. And my creativity has been stretched this week because I haven't been able to film the things that I wanted to in the way that I thought I wanted to, and I ended up creating content that I was actually more proud of on the back end of it, content that I didn't think I would enjoy creating. And now I'm like, no, I'm really proud of that TikTok. I'm really proud of that TikTok. I don't care if 5 people see it or 1,000 people see it, but I'm proud of it, and that's the main thing. And when you're making work that's fulfilling to you, spirit is bound to reap rewards for you. Spirit is bound to continue putting opportunities in front of you to push your creativity even more, to give you more abundance, to show you that the doors are opening, to give you reassurance. Constantly, it will happen constantly. And while I was definitely getting reassurance in places, it was only when my efforts were aligned. It was only when my heart was aligned with the things that I was doing. And maybe that's why things have come so easy to me, because I was always aligned with it. It was like, I know it's going to come easy because these things are easy to me. Like, living in my purpose is easy to me. Giving people advice was easy to me. Half the time, I didn't even know the advice that I was giving. Like, spirit talks through me half the time. Like, when people were asking for situations and experiences that I hadn't been in, and I would talk to them about it, all of a sudden they're like, oh, Zara, you gave great advice. And I'm like, I'd never been through anything like what you're asking me for advice in. That weren't me. That was spirit. So if I know that I'm able to do that, and I can go back and I can find evidence of me living in purpose, why am I so afraid to turn on a camera and do it then? Like, what are you afraid of? This is me asking myself. Because what am I afraid of? Like, there's no difference. There's no difference here. I have to tell myself there's no difference here. Trust that you are being called to do this. And if you are being called to do this, then nothing but exactly what is supposed to happen will happen. And I just have to trust that. I have to trust that. And I'm learning to trust that. I'm learning that My creativity is being tested so that it gets better. I'm learning that I am being tested so that I get better, so that I do more work, so that I go internally even more and learn more about myself, so that I understand myself, so that I can see the version of myself that spirit sees of me, so that I can understand more exactly who I am and who I should be walking as, right? And who I should be showing up as. And in that, I feel like this process isn't just happening with me creatively, it's happening across the board. And when you are going through a real transformation, it's not just going to happen in your career, it's not just going to happen in the thing that you're working towards. It's going to happen internally, like in every part of your being. You are going to be called to do better. I was the night owl of the night owl of the night owl society. Like, I just made a TikTok saying that I was the president of the night owl society. Like, that was me. You could not tell me to wake up early in the morning. For what? For what? Like, if I had to, I would, but I really hated it. Now, if I don't get up at 6 a.m., just so that I can get an hour before my baby wakes up at 7:30, I'm hanging. I'm like, I needed that hour. I just needed that hour, you know? I needed that hour. And it's forcing me to go to bed early because I'm getting tired earlier. And it's forcing me to clean my house earlier because now I have a baby. And it's forcing me to tidy up after myself because I don't want to clean more in the night because I get tired earlier in the night because I want to sleep earlier in the night so that I can wake up earlier in the morning. Like, all of these things are changing. I've been telling myself, oh, I'm going to do ginger shots for like weeks, since like winter arc, like back in September. I was like, oh, I'm going to, I started going back to the gym and it was like, I'm going to be on my health fitness thing again. Didn't make those ginger shots for ages. All of a sudden, last week, I was like, well, why can't I do it? Do it then, do it. I literally had everything that I needed. The turmeric had literally been sitting in the fridge for ages. So I did everything, blended it all up, made the shots, felt so much internally better. Every time I eat chocolate, my body's like rejecting it. Every time I have a muffin, my body's like, don't want it. Like, I'm yearning for whole foods. I'm yearning for more foods. I'm yearning for cooked food. All of these things, my body doesn't want to eat after a certain time. I want a herbal tea in the morning. Like, all of these things, I don't feel like I did. Like, I didn't sit down and genuinely say, from tomorrow, I'm going to take my health thing like extra serious. I was like, if I have a cupcake here and there, I might have a chocolate here and there. Like, I don't like being too restricted. All of a sudden, my body's rejecting it. There's absolutely nothing I can do now. It's not even like I didn't tell myself I want to stop eating sweets. Like, I know my future self is a very healthy girl. I know she's a very healthy girl. But I thought we would enjoy like a cupcake every now and again. You know? I thought maybe we would have a sweet a few times a week. My body's like, no, we don't want it. We don't want it at all. This is not helping us at all. Actually, we want some good cooked food. Actually, we want some sweet potatoes. Actually, we want some salmon. Actually, we want some cooked food. Like, that's what we want. We want a meal right now. We don't want a biscuit. My body started rejecting it. And when you're going through a transformation, your whole entire body begins to yearn for the transformation. You're not just going to become a new person at work. You're not just going to be walking in your purpose, in your career, or in your home life. It's your whole entire life is going to do a 180 into embodying the person who has those things in all areas. In all areas. If you want to become more disciplined, you're going to end up being more disciplined in every part of your life. You're not just going to be disciplined at work. You're not just going to be disciplined with your health journey. You're going to be disciplined because you need to with your nutrition, because it's going to affect your health journey. It's going to affect your sleep. So you're going to be disciplined with your sleep so that you can do better in your health journey, so that you can do better with your nutrition. They all just, one goes into another. And at some point, you'll look back and be like, rah, my whole entire identity has changed. I've become this new, evolved, better, higher version of myself. Like, entirely. And that's what I feel like is happening with me. I feel it in the way of like the things that I'm no longer interested in, things that I don't want to watch anymore, shows that I don't care for anymore, people that I don't care to be around or listen to anymore, foods that I don't want to eat anymore. Like, my mindset has completely shifted, and my entire internal body is like pushing towards this version of me who is showing up better, who is putting their all, who is following their purpose, who's living in their purpose, who is all round being the type of woman that I said I want to be. And the old version of me is trying so hard to self-sabotage that process. So hard. So hard. And I can feel it, and I'm fighting it. And so if you are on a journey, on a self-improvement journey, on a self-discovery journey, on a weight loss journey, any journey of transformation, your old version of you is going to test you hard, is going to push back hard, is going to sabotage hard, and you have to fight through it. You have to fight through it. You have to stop the self-doubt, because what if you succeed? What if you become her? And when you feel that struggle internally happening, know that you are on the right path. When you feel the struggle, when you're like, oh, I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I hate it, and you're waking up and you're like, I want to go back to sleep. I want to go back to sleep, but I'm out, but I'm asleep, but I'm out, but I'm asleep. That's the moment. That is that moment when you're making a decision between your best self and the old version of you. It's literally then that you have to push harder, that you have to succeed in that fight, that you have to fight through the pain. It's not easy. it's not easy. And then balancing like actual life, like being a mum, and I still have to show up even though I'm going through this very trying internal change. I have to show up for my son and be fully present with him. And that's teaching me it's a whole load of other things, because obviously children teach you a lot, and he's healing my inner child, and he's showing me that what I'm doing is going to be worth it, if anything, because I'm not really going to get into like the whole ins and outs of being a mom, because that's not what this episode is about. But if anything, he's showing me that on the other side of this, my efforts are worth it. Even if nothing comes out of this, I am so proud of myself that it's making me do better in motherhood. Like, I am so fulfilled in the work that I'm putting in to chase a goal, to fight for a dream, to embody this better version of myself, that I am showing up better in motherhood. I want to be a better mom for him. I want to be a better woman for him, to show him certain things, to prove to him that you can, reach a goal if you put your heart and soul into it, that there's nothing wrong with trying hard, that there's nothing wrong with chasing something. And I want to use a different word than chasing. I just don't have a better one right now, because I don't feel like it's chasing. Working towards. We can say working towards. But I do feel like this process is pushing my creativity. I'm less of the self-sabotaging, and it's refining my message. I'm learning more about this version of myself every day. I'm learning more about who this version is and what she wants to be, and the habits that she has as the days go by. Because honestly, I feel like I'm a brand new person. I feel like I'm a brand new person. I feel like I'm learning Zara all over again, but like not the Zara that I thought I was, the Zara that I'm being called to be. I'm learning her. I didn't know her. It's like, hi, nice to meet you, I guess. Like, you're taking over. Okay. Like, we're doing this. Oh, we're locking in. Oh, she's locked in. Like, she's locked in. Oh, okay. I feel like I'm running behind her. Like, internally, I feel like she's like, yeah, we're going this way. Like, this is what we're doing now. And I'm like, oh, she's gone. Okay. Like, oh, she's waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, okay, we're up. Oh, okay, she's doing it. And I genuinely, like, people probably, if you were in my house during this process, you would assume that I'm crazy, because I have honestly been having like internal struggles with myself, and you'll hear me talking about it. It's like, no, Zara, what do we need to, literally, I came out of the baby's bedroom and I was like, what do we need to do right now? Don't start tidying up. We need to film the podcast episode. That's what we need to get done first today. Like, go and set up. Like, I'm telling myself, go set up. That's what you need to do today. Don't get all, distracted while you're outside of the baby's room now and sit down and start scrolling on your phone. No. Go set up for the podcast. Like, I'm literally talking myself through the steps in order to get me to the thing that I need to do. Otherwise, I would have come out of the baby's room. I would have been like, oh, I need to clean the kitchen. Oh, I need to tidy up his toys. Oh, I need to haven't eaten yet. And I would have left this podcast episode until God knows when. God knows when. And honestly, like, I was sitting here self-sabotaging, saying, oh, I'm not going to be able to film tonight because, he hasn't woken up. He hasn't woken up. We've been sitting here for 42 minutes. He hasn't woken up. And we're finished now. Like, Zara, you filmed the podcast episode. You got it all done. Everything's done. You're finished for the day. Now you can go and eat. You're done. Time for bed. Like, wasn't that hard, was it? No. Like, and you've put your heart and soul into this episode. You did your notes. You talked about everything that you wanted to. You are able. We are all able. You are able to do anything that is on your heart. It's on your heart for a reason. It is. There's just no denying it. And so if you've gotten to the end of January and you're feeling like I haven't even started yet, that's okay. You can start now. Start now. Start today. Start tomorrow. You just have to start though. Like, not everybody was, had a full life plan for the whole entire year. They knew what they was doing 365 days. Their vision board was done. Their goal setting was done. Their quarterly goals were done. Their bingo cards were done. Not everybody is like that. It's okay. It's fine. We can start today. You can start today. And I hope you've had a good January. I hope your January hasn't been as testing as mine has. And if it has, join the club. Hi, nice to see you. We're not self-sabotaging this year. We have things to do. We have dreams and goals to accomplish. We have dream lives to live. We are evolving. We are changing. We are becoming the best version of ourselves. That's what we're doing this year. Even if you start February 1st, who cares? But at least you've started. Start taking action. You're taking action. And you're putting your full self into it. You're doing your best into it. You're not doing it half-assed. You're doing your best. Okay? You're doing your best. We're doing our best. So, I hope you enjoyed your time within a Black Girl's Orbit. I hope. Please leave me a comment. Let's have a chat. I would love to talk more about what you guys are. What's on your heart for this year. What dreams and goals that you are striving for. What you have been called to. The version of yourself that you're working towards. Please. Let me know, fill me in, let's have a chat. This is going to be a community. I know this is going to be a community. So let's start creating that community, okay? Okay. I love you all. I'll see you in the comments. And then I'll see you again next week. Okay? Love you all. Bye.